Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone to this wonderful weekly Bhagavad Gita reading session. And we are discussing chapter number 3 of the Bhagavad Gita, Karma Yoga, right? And we discussed till verse number 9. Uh, Last session we discussed verse number 8 and 9. And today we are going to start from verse number 10. And if you all can recall, while concluding my previous session, I said that from verse number 10 onwards, there is an entire new section. Okay. That was the reason why, please excuse me. That was the reason why I decided to, finish up till the ninth verse, and we will start from the 10th verse onwards from today. So, in the previous verses, okay, we have seen in the third chapter that Krishna has very elaborately, described about Nishkama Karma Yoga. Especially from verse number 3 to verse number 9, he just speaks about Nishkam Karma Yoga. Okay? And what is Nishkam Karma Yoga? Just give your 100% in whatever activities you are doing, but don't be attached to the results of your actions. Okay? Don't be attached to the fruits of your work. However, that is very difficult, for all of us. And same was the case with Arjun also. Okay? And after listening to this entire, the talk about Nishkam Karma Yoga by Lord Shri Krishna, Arjun said, "Humse na ho payega." Krishna, it's not possible for him. He said, "It's not possible for me." Okay, so he said that I would rather not fight and go to some secluded place, okay, and live a life of an ascetic over there, right? So he just said that ladne ke liye mat bolo Krishna, right? Don't ask me to fight. I just can't fight with my own kinsmen. So if you can recall, in the second chapter, Krishna had raised his bar very high. Okay, he started right from the Jnana Yoga. Okay, it's a very high level of understanding, Jnana Yoga, right? In chapter 2. And at that time also, he saw that, okay, Arjun, this is little too heavy for Arjun. He is not able to comprehend that. So he came one level down. He lowered his bar, basically, okay? And then he started talking about the Nishkam Karma Yoga in chapter 3. But here also, after speaking the first a few verses until verse number 9, basically, Arjun was pretty reluctant actually to fight. So after looking at the expression of Arjun, Krishna further lowered his bar. Okay. So from verse number 10 onwards, we will discuss what is known as the Karma Kanda. Okay. And what is this Karma Kanda? Karma Kanda means that a person has some desires, okay, and they want to fulfill their desires. And for that, they are working. That means basically the person is very much attached to the results of that action, to the fruits of that action. Okay. That means if there is nothing in it for the person, he or she will simply won't work. Okay, they just won't work, and because nothing is there for them. Okay, so this is known as the attachment to the fruits or the results of the action, and that is exactly what is karma kanda. Okay. Now Krishna is going to tell us that what such kind of people should do. What is the hope for them, right? Because if you look at the definition of this karma kanda, we all are like this, right? We all are attached to the fruits of our actions. Okay. The moment we are asked to do something, the first question, which we ask back is, what is there for me in it? Okay. If there is nothing significant, then we are reluctant to work. We simply won't work. We won't do that action at all, right? So in this section, we will see that how a person who has certain desires, okay, and how such people can work, okay, the people who have certain desires, how such people can work so that they can go up to the level of Nishkam Karma Yoga, okay, and beyond. So if you can recall, like I had previously also mentioned, that this whole yoga is basically a ladder, okay, and Karma Kanda is the lowermost rung of that ladder, Okay, so slowly we have to climb this yoga ladder and move up to the bhakti yoga, okay, which is the topmost rung of the ladder. Okay, so in this verse, verse number 10 and 11, we are going to discuss today. In these two verses, Krishna will tell us that, okay, what should a person who is having certain desires, okay, who wants those desires to be fulfilled, how they should work so that they are gradually elevated to the level of Nishkam Karma Yoga. Okay, very interesting section. Lots and lots of questions will be there. We will try to answer all of them. Okay, and very practical, implementations. It like we will get. It's very easy, like in our day-to-day life. Okay, it's very easy to implement them in our day-to-day lives. Basically, if we are really interested, and if we are really interested to move up this yoga ladder. Okay, so let's see verse number 10. But before that, I would perform some Mangalacharan. Okay, I would offer some pranam mantras, and those who know it can please repeat after me. Those who don't, please try to listen very intently, because listening is also very, very purifying. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम् वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो महावदन्याय कृष्ण प्रेम प्रदायते कृष्णाय कृष्ण चैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पंगुं लंघते गिरि यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीचैतन्यम् ईश्वरम् हरि ओम तत्सत्. Okay, so we were about to discuss shloka number 10. I'll share my screen and we'll first read the shloka and the translation, and then we'll get down to the discussions. Oh, so a little bit of tongue twisters here, but yeah, nevertheless, we'll try our best. Okay, so the shloka goes like this: Sah yagyah prajah srishtva purovacha prajapatihi anena prasavishyadvam esha vostishta kamadhuk. Translation: In the beginning of creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, Be thou happy by this yajna or sacrifice. Because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. Okay, very nice translation. Let me read it again. In the beginning of the creation, the Lord of all creatures sent forth generations of men and demigods along with sacrifices for Vishnu, and blessed them by saying, Be thou happy by this yajna or sacrifice. because its performance will bestow upon you everything desirable for living happily and achieving liberation. Okay, so very nice verse, and we'll try to understand this. Okay, so two things. First, there's a word called Prajapati. Okay, Prajapati is another name of Lord Vishnu himself. Okay, and we will discuss about this Prajapati little later. Okay, another thing which Krishna says. Okay, may your all material desires be fulfilled. Okay, isn't this a very nice benediction to have? So Krishna, being our eternal Father and being our eternal loving Father, he wants all our desires to be fulfilled. Okay, but then we see that that is not the case. Okay, we are struggling very hard in this material world. Why? So we'll try to find the answers to these questions a little later. Okay, so Krishna has just said in this verse that okay, may your all material desires be fulfilled, but there is also something hidden, okay, in here. Okay, and what is that? That just by working to fulfill these desires, okay, please note, just by working to fulfill these desires, one will move gradually up the yoga ladder, okay, and attain liberation in due course of time. Isn't that wonderful? Right? That I am working to fulfill my desires. My desires are also getting fulfilled. And at the same time, I am moving up the yoga ladder. And ultimately, I'll be perfecting the human life, which is breaking the cycle of life and death and going back home, back to Krishna. Okay. However, this is a slow and gradual process for the people who are at the karma kanda level. Okay. For them, it's a time taking process, basically. Okay. It's not going to happen overnight. It's the time which is mentioned here can be many lifetimes actually. So those who are really inclined to break the cycle of life and death in this very lifetime, they should directly take to bhakti yoga, okay, and start chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, now one question which is there in the minds of so many people. Okay, like so many times we have been asked this question that why did God created this material world in the first place? Right? दुनिया बनाने वाले क्या तेरे मन में समाई काहे को दुनिया बनाई? Right? So the answer is that we were all residing with Krishna in the spiritual world initially, and at some point we got envious of Krishna. Okay, that why only Krishna can play the flute? Why not I can do the same? Why only Krishna can enjoy the association of gopis and the cowherd boys? Why can't I be the same? Okay. Why is only Krishna getting all the attention? And why is only he the center of attraction? Why can't I be the same? Okay. So these kind of thoughts and these kind of desires, they actually came into our minds, into our hearts, and then we were sent to this material world, right? Because we said, "Oh Krishna, we don't want you in our lives. Okay, we don't want to see your face again." Okay, that is the kind of uh, behavior we showed. But Krishna, just look at the mercy of Krishna, that still, right, he didn't give up on us. He just gave us, okay, you want to go, you can go. I'll give you a place where you can live, okay, and where you can just fulfill all your desires. Just do what you want, okay. And at the same time, Krishna also ensured that by working in the material world over a period of time, we will gradually, revive our forgotten relationship with Krishna. We will revive our forgotten Krishna consciousness, okay, and eventually we will go back home, back to Him. So we'll read from the purport where this whole explanation which Srila Prabhupada gives. Me go to that verse. Mm. The material creation by the Lord of creatures, Vishnu, is a chance offered to the conditioned souls to come back home, back to Godhead. All the living entities within the material creation are conditioned by material nature because of their forgetfulness, forgetfulness of their relationship to Vishnu or Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so and we see how merciful the Lord is. Okay, we'll see that in due course of time. Okay, sometimes people may ask that, okay, why there is so much of suffering? Okay, fine, like we had like forgotten Krishna. Okay, but there's so much of suffering around. So why? I mean, the material world in the first place. Okay, and the answer is here. Okay, we as we have read already. The material creation by the Lord of creatures, Vishnu, is a chance offered to the conditioned souls to come back home, back to Godhead. Okay, so this is the answer. Okay, the only purpose, the sole purpose for which this material world has been created is to go back home, back to Krishna. Any other activities that we are doing here, okay, is a simply wastage of time. Whether it's our job, whether we are attending to the needs of our family. I know I'm using very hard, hard lines over here. Okay, sometimes it may be very difficult for people to comprehend. Okay, that how can this person say that, okay, our jobs are meaningless? How can this person say that, okay, attending to the family needs are meaningless? Yes, they are important aspect for our existence in this material world, but that is not our ultimate goal. Okay, just think about it in this way. I will just try to cite one example. Okay, and I hope after that this will make more sense. Suppose you are working for a multinational company. Okay, you're working for a multinational company, and that company gives you an opportunity for an onshore assignment. Okay, they try to send you outside India or outside your, wherever you are based out of. Okay, and it's a long-term assignment. So the company was considerate enough that they gave you the permission that, okay, you can also take your family along with you. We will bear the expenses, okay, for your stay in the foreign land. We will ensure that your kid goes to a good school over there, okay, and your family is also there, so that you are not stressed out and you can focus very nicely on the assignment which has been given to you. Okay, the person goes along with his family and they are very nicely settled in the foreign land. I mean, they are enjoying the atmosphere there, and this man is very nicely taking care of the family. Okay, every evening they go out, he tries to attend to the needs of his wife, his kids, and everything, like, just he ensures that he is just A1 in, like, when as far as the needs of the family is concerned, he is able to attend to all of that. And slowly, like, he is only focusing on this, and time passes by. Okay, and after the stipulated period is over, say he was sent for, say, 2 years maybe for an onshore assignment. 2 years are over, and he comes back, and the leadership, they ask him that, what about the assignment, have you completed it, what is the status? Okay, and he said that, okay, assignment, I haven't even started. Just imagine what will be the expression on the supervisors and the other leaders. Okay, they will be completely astonished. So what the hell were you doing for 2 years? Oh, I was taking care of my family very nicely. Okay, what will happen to such an employee? Any guesses? Immediately, that person will be fired, or at least he will be put on performance improvement plan, PIP. That is what we call it. Okay, so this is exactly the same situation. As far as we are concerned, we are so much engrossed in our material activities that we have forgotten the original assignment, which had been given to us. And that assignment was to break the cycle of life and death, go back home, back to Krishna. So after quitting our bodies, when we are presented in front of Yamraj, now they have all our track record, okay, that what this fellow has done for the entire lifetime. Okay, they will ask that, what about the assignment? Have you completed that? At that time, we cannot give an excuse. It will be a very lame excuse, when we say that, oh, I was taking care of my family. I was busy taking care of my family, so I didn't get time to practice bhakti, right? So if we try to say that, we will be first punished for our sinful actions that we have done here. We will be, sent to higher planetary systems for the good actions that we do. But ultimately, we will be coming back again, in this human form. Not necessarily human form. Sorry, I mean that is also not guaranteed. Okay, it all depends upon our actions and deeds that we do in this particular lifetime. Okay, we'll be sent back again to this earthly planetary system, maybe in any form. Okay, either human or a dog or a cat or whatever. Okay, so just imagine so much of uncertainty after that. Okay, and another lifetime will go like this, and another and another and another, and this vicious cycle continues on and on and on. Okay, it's really difficult actually. Okay? So that's what Srila Prabhupada used to say, that this human life is an opportunity. Okay, utilize it to the fullest, finish your business in this lifetime, go back home, back to Krishna. Okay, no need to linger around here for a long time. Now the question is that how can we, when we are saying that, okay, going back home, back to Godhead is the ultimate goal of human life, okay, then how can we go back home? Okay, it's a very valid question, right? So we should read from the purport. Again, Prabhupada has given all the explanations. Okay, is the Vedic principles are here to help us to understand this eternal relation, our relationship with Krishna. Okay, as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedashcha sarver ahameva vedya. Okay, so what is the purpose of all the Vedas? To understand Krishna. Okay, Krishna himself says in the 15th chapter, 15th verse, Vedashcha sarver ahameva vedyo vedanta krit ved videva chaham. From all the Vedas, I am to be known. That is what Krishna is saying. Okay, so that is the ultimate aim of all the Vedas and Vedic principles. And once we understand Krishna, okay, then like our job will be much easier. We'll know how to go back home, back to Krishna. But then, what are we supposed to understand about the Lord? So I said in the beginning of this verse that we will come to this word Prajapati. Okay, we need to understand that Krishna or Lord Vishnu is Prajapati. Okay, so Pati means maintainer and the protector. Okay, from these two words, the word Pati has come up. Okay, Pati means maintainer and the protector. Okay, and Pati of whom? Praja, right? Praja means all the living entities. So he is the only one who can maintain and protect everyone. Yes. So now that we know that Krishna is the Prajapati, what are we supposed to do? Yes. So now that we know Krishna is Prajapati, what are we supposed to do? We are not supposed to do anything special. Okay. Krishna has already told us, what to do, and we just need to follow that. He has already given us everything. Okay. As we have seen in the translation, he said that he sent the generations of men and demigods along with sacrifices. Okay, that means we just need to perform certain sacrifices and then we will be happy. Okay, so let's read from the purport again. The Prajapati, Lord Vishnu, is Lord Vishnu, and he is the Lord of all living creatures, all worlds, and all beauties, and protector of everyone. The Lord created this material world to enable the conditioned souls to learn how to perform yajna or sacrifices for the satisfaction of Vishnu. Okay, so that while in the material world they can live comfortably without any anxiety, and after finishing the present material body, they can enter into the kingdom of God. Okay, back to Godhead, back to Krishna. Okay, so you just see, how merciful Krishna is. That even when we revolted against him, we said that okay, we don't want to be with you, Krishna. Okay, he gave us a place to live still. Okay, and without his physical presence, okay, he is still within us, within the heart of everyone, each and every single individual. Okay, he's like guiding us, and whenever okay a person tries to shows even a slight inclination, okay, towards spirituality, he's the one who guides us actually, okay, and he is the one who helps us to progress on that path, okay. So he gave us this Vedic principles to understand him, okay, and then he has also given us the process, okay, by which we can go back home, back to him. And what is that process? Yajna, or the sacrifices. Just see his mercy, like he's so merciful. Like, just imagine if a person, like if a child is very rebellious towards the parent, and they say that, okay, I don't want to, I don't want you to be in our lives. I just want to go away from here. Okay, what would be the reaction of an ordinary parent? Okay, they would say, just get lost. Even I don't want to see your face again. Okay, you're such a rebellious kid, right? Normally, this would be the mood of every parent of such a rebellious child. Okay, but out of his unconditional love, okay, for all of us, right, he has given this material world to live in, and he stays there in our hearts. Okay, whenever a person shows slight inclination towards spirituality, he will just make sure that we progress on that path very nicely. Okay, he encourages us from within. And Krishna is very clear, okay, that those who really want to come back to me, please do yoga or sacrifices. Yajna or sacrifices. Please do that. Okay. Sacrifice for whom? For the satisfaction of Vishnu. Okay. And what happens when one does does a sacrifice for the satisfaction or for the pleasure of Vishnu? Let's read from the purport again. By performance of yajna, the conditioned soul gradually become Krishna conscious and become godly in all respects. Okay, that means everyone can live happily first, which was given earlier. We read, okay, without any anxiety. Okay, so that was the one. And secondly, what Srila Prabhupada is saying here, that by performance of yajna, the conditioned souls gradually come to Krishna consciousness and become godly in all respects. So all the qualities of the demigods or the Devis and Devatas, okay, they manifest in such a person who becomes Krishna conscious. Okay. See, every one of us wants to live very happily without any anxiety in this material world. One wants peace and happiness, satisfaction. Okay. But people don't know how to get it. Okay. The problem is that we are in this material world, we are trying to exploit this material nature whimsically. We are trying to lord over this material nature. Okay. We just forget the Vedic principles. We just keep aside all the Vedic injunctions and just do whatever we want. Okay, and that is the root cause of all our anxieties. Okay, Krishna is telling us how to do it. He is the creator of this material world. Okay, suppose say I am a software engineer. If I have developed certain software, okay, then who is the best person who can tell you about the functionality of the software? Is it the sales guy, or is it the support guy, or is it the person who has developed it, right? Obviously the person who has developed it can give you the complete insight, okay, that how this particular functionality is working, what all functionalities are there. Okay, so similarly, when Krishna, who is a creator, okay, who has given us, who is telling us that, okay, how to be happy and how to be anxiety free, how to live an anxiety free life in this material world, we simply don't try to understand that and don't accept what he says actually. And this is the irony actually. Okay, so he also knows our desires. As Paramatma, being a Paramatma in our hearts, situated in our hearts, he knows all our desires. He wants to fulfill those desires, basically. Okay, he wants to give us satisfaction, and he has also given us the way by which we can fulfill our desires. Okay, and that is yajna or sacrifice. But we don't, either out of ignorance, we don't know this process. Okay, and because ignorance is the main cause. And even if we do know that, okay, what is the process of fulfilling our desires and ultimately going back home, back to Krishna, we don't want to do it. Okay, especially in this age of Kali Yuga, we don't want to do it. Why? Because we want to be Krishna, right? We want to be like him actually. That, okay, what I am thinking is correct, forget about Krishna. I mean, he is not right. Okay, what he is saying is just not valuable things, right? So this is our attitude. That is why we are suffering here. Okay. So anyone who follows the instructions of Vedic scripture, okay, especially about sacrifices or yajna, okay, following things will happen. Okay, first, what will happen? The person will live very comfortably, okay, without any anxiety in the material world. That we have seen already. We have read in the purport also. Okay, second, that person will be gradually purified. Okay, so we have seen that in the purport also, Srila Prabhupada was mentioning that just by performing sacrifice for the satisfaction of Vishnu, the person will slowly become Krishna conscious, and all the godly nature, will manifest within that person. He'll become godly in all aspects. Okay, and the person will become Krishna conscious. Okay. Second, and then third, sorry, at the end of their life, after quitting the bodies, they will go back home, back to Krishna. Okay. Isn't this a very nice process, right? And what is the sacrifice that we are talking about here? Okay, yajna. The moment we say the word yajna, what comes in our mind? That, okay, there should be one havan kund. We are, and fire, nice fire is lit up in that havan kund. We are, putting all the ingredients and chanting the, syllable swaha, when while doing that yajna. Correct. So, but this process, if you think little deeply about it, okay, carry out this process, you need pure ghee. You need pure Brahmanas, learned Brahmanas, okay, who are able to chant the Vedic hymns with utmost clarity and utmost perfection. Okay. We need absolutely pure ingredients to be offered. One should be pure. The person who is carrying out that yajna, that person should be pure. The place where the yajna is being carried out, that should be pure. Okay. The time, it has to be performed at a specific time, that is known as the auspicious muhurta, right? And it has to be done for a certain duration. Okay. And in Kali Yuga, guess what? Everything is impure. And who has the time to do all these things? Okay, for so much of such a big duration. Okay, it's just not possible to do that in Kali Yuga. So, what is the hope for people like us in this age? Okay, only one yajna is recommended in this age of Kali Yuga, and that is to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Okay, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, and even if this is done improperly, okay, imperfectly, it's okay. Krishna bolte hain, chalega. Okay, no problem. Because this Kali Yuga is the worst of all the four yugas, basically. Yes. So it's okay. Like even if we make mistakes, it's understandable that okay, people of this yuga will make mistakes. So Krishna is very merciful. He just takes that. And where do we get this reference? That how can we say that japa is a yajna? Okay, that chanting the holy name is a yajna. So two places. Okay, first in the Bhagavad Gita itself, Krishna says, "Yajnanam jap yajyo asmi." Okay, that out of all the yajnas, I am the jap yajna. So you just imagine that chanting of the holy name or doing japa is actually a representative of Krishna. It is non-different from Krishna. Okay. Srila Prabhupada used to say that whenever we are chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, okay, Krishna is dancing on our tongue actually at that time. So we should be very attentive and very careful while chanting. Okay, it's just like you are associating with Krishna. So while chanting, if you are looking at a mobile phone or just peeping outside the window that what's going on, it's just like you are, ignoring, a person is talking to you and you are ignoring that person. Okay, isn't that rude? Right. So we should be very attentive and very careful while chanting. That is one thing. Okay. Second reference that we get is in the Srimad Bhagavatam, okay, which speaks about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, okay, and it says something like this: Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangastra Parshadam Yajna Sankirtana Prayar Yajanti Hi Sumethasha. Okay, so Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam. That means the personality who has this Krishna Varna or a dusky complexion. Okay, he will appear in this age of Kali Yuga as Tvisha Krishnam, as a non-dusky or with fair complexion. Okay, that is Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Okay. Sango Pangastra Parshadam. He will appear along with his associates and all the paraphernalia. Okay. And Yajna Sankirtana Prayar, he will give rise to what is known as the Sankirtan Yajna. Okay. The Yug Dharma of Kali Yuga. Okay. Chanting of the holy names of the Lord. Okay. So Yajna Sankirtana Prayar, he will start this, Yajna in the Kali Yuga. Yajanti hi Sumedasha. And only those people who are the most intelligent of all the mankind, okay, all the human race, only they will take to this process. Okay, others will simply think to be think this to be a mundane activity. यार नाम लेने से क्या होता है? Nothing happens, right? But this is the ultimate yajna, prescribed by the scriptures for the satisfaction of Lord Vishnu. There is no other way. You cannot meditate because we do not have the lifespan for meditation. We do not have the attention span for meditation. Okay, we can't do that. We cannot do any fire sacrifices or the yajna that we generally do at our homes because all the ingredients are impure. The brahmanas are not qualified. Okay, so the only hope left for us, for the people of Kalyuga, is the Sankirtan Yajna, that is to chant the holy names of the Lord. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay. So by doing this, Krishna or Vishnu will be pleased and we will be purified. Okay. And we will then, as mentioned earlier, three things will happen. What are those? First, our desires will be fulfilled. We will become Krishna consciousness because we'll be purified. We will become Krishna conscious because we'll be purified. And third, we will be perfecting our human lives and going back home, back to Godhead by breaking this cycle of life and death. Okay. So the next few verses, this was all about verse number 10. In the next few verses, we'll see that how our desires will be fulfilled. Someone may ask that, okay, fine, I agree to what you are saying, that okay, sacrifices or yajna can help us fulfill our desires, but then tell me step by step that how that those desires will be fulfilled. So this will be answered in next few verses. Today we'll see verse number 10 and one more verse, which is verse number 11. Okay, so let's read the verse 11 and then we can come down to the discussion part. Sharing my screen again. So it goes like this. Devan bhavayetanena te deva bhavayantu vah parasparam bhavayantah shreya paramavapsatha. The demigods, being pleased by sacrifices, will also please you, and thus cooperation between men and demigods, and thus by cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. Okay? Demigods, being pleased by the sacrifices, will also please you, and thus by the cooperation between men and demigods, prosperity will reign for all. Okay? So this is a very important verse. Some very deep insights we'll be looking into this. We'll see by looking into this verse. And let's get down to the discussion part. Okay, so Krishna, as we have seen earlier, is describing the karma kanda. Okay, that is the business, or rather business which people do in general. Okay, and what is this business that we are doing? Okay, and all of us have practiced this in our lives. Okay, like those who are in Krishna consciousness, they would have also practiced it before coming to Krishna consciousness. At least I did. I know that. Okay. So what we do, we go to a temple. Okay, and we have a long list of desires. Okay, कि ये है, ये है, ये है, ये है. Right? I want this. I want this. I want this. Okay, and then we go in front of the deities. Okay, and try to strike a business deal with them. That okay, you fulfill these desires. I have this long list, and I will do something in return for you. Okay, and this business is also unfair. Okay, I'll give you two coconuts and you fulfill this long list of desires. Okay, demanding desires. Okay, and actually, so this is the degraded karma kanda. Basically, why? Because we are not following any Vedic injunctions and we are acting whimsically. So, and since we are working for our desires to be fulfilled, so it is considered as a karma kanda only, but it's a very degraded form. It is against the Vedic injunctions, and that's why it is degraded, basically. Okay, in this degraded age of Kali Yuga. Okay, so actually, it's a karma kanda is also a very elaborate procedure. Okay, like if we just see, we'll be seeing, in this verse basically. Okay, and let's see what Krishna has to tell about this. Actually, we'll be seeing that. So another important thing, in this shloka, Krishna for the first time, discuss about karma kandas related to the devis and devtas or the demigods. They are referred to as the demigods. So Krishna is also describing like how this universal administration is happening, how it works basically, who are the devis and devtas, and we will see that ultimately we will see that what are the karma kanda that we have to do, okay, in order to please them, or what is the best way to do that, okay, and like he continues in this verse. Okay, so we will see that. Okay, so first of all, let's first understand what is the position of the devis and devtas. Okay, who are these devis and devtas and the demigods? As it is mentioned in this particular verse. Okay, so demigod, the term demigod means personality which is higher than human in all aspects. Okay, all the humans in all aspects. Okay, we are nowhere near to the demigods. Please make it a point. Okay, but all these demigods are below Krishna. Okay, they are acting under the supervision of Krishna. Basically, Krishna is ordering them to act in certain way, and they are just carrying out his orders. Okay, and they unanimously accept Krishna as the supreme personality. Okay, so in a nutshell, when we worship Devi or Devta, okay, they are pleased with us. Okay, and then they get the power from Krishna, and to give benediction to us. Okay, they bless us with that. Okay, so we'll read from the purport about these Devis and Devtas or the demigods. Okay, the demigods are empowered administrators of the material affairs, the supply of air, water, and all the other benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of every living entity is entrusted to the demigod. Okay, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, very, very important. Okay, so just like we have different cabinet ministers in the government, okay, similarly, we have different ministers. Okay, so in the form of Devis and Devtas. It comes to the administration of the entire, universal administration, basically. Okay, so for example, the power minister, okay, uh, he is the sun demigod or Surya Dev, right? Similarly, water minister is Varun Dev, rain minister is Indra Dev, defense minister is goddess Durga, okay, education minister is goddess Parvati, right? So, goddess Saraswati, sorry. So, these are the basically some devis and devtas who have certain roles to play basically, okay, in this universal administration, and they are innumerable in number. They are very no, they are in very large numbers basically, okay. And in the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, okay, it has been clearly mentioned that all these devis and devtas are basically nothing but the parts and parcels of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. Actually, they are the different parts of his body, okay, and they all are acting under the supervision of Lord Sri Krishna. Okay, so again, we'll continue with the purport. Uh, just give me a second. I lost it somewhere. Uh, the supply of air, light, water, and all other benedictions for maintaining the body and soul of every living entity is entrusted to the demigods, who are innumerable assistants in different parts of the body of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, so they are the parts of the body of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, and it has been clearly mentioned in the second canto. Okay, and now that we know the exact position of these devis and devtas, then how to please them? That is the next question. Okay, and obviously, like nowadays, no one is bothered to please anyone. Okay, I mean, as far as all the natural resources are concerned, we don't even think this deep basically. Okay, that okay, someone is controlling all the natural resources and the different carbon cycle or nitrogen cycle or the rains and everything that is happening. Okay, but you should know actually the Vedas are not like that. Just imagine that we just take it for granted, okay, that okay, whatever natural resource is available, it is available to us for free, and we just want to exploit it and enjoy. Okay, that is our attitude. Okay, but the Vedic scriptures, they don't talk like that. Okay, that when we are taking something, this is the Vedic injunction. If you are taking something, then we have to give something in return. Okay, as a gesture of thanks or gratitude, towards the personality who is helping it. Okay. Now, Devis and Devtas, they are doing so much for us. Okay, that the Surya Dev is giving us the heat and light. Uh, Pavan Dev is giving us the wind. Varun Dev is giving us the water. So we are indebted to all of them. Okay. As a matter of fact, even for blinking our eyes, there's Devta. His name is Nimi Maharaj. Okay, he's sitting on our eyelids, and because of you know him, actually we are able to blink our eyes. So we are all indebted to them. Just imagine if the Surya god or the Surya Dev, if he just presents a power bill to us that okay, this is the outstanding amount, you have to pay this bill amount. Until and unless you clear this outstanding amount, I'm just stopping the supply of heat and light. Just imagine what will happen. Will any one of us be able to repay that? No, it's not possible, right? But under the guidance of Lord Sri Krishna, Sun God is working. I'm just giving the example of Sun God. It's the same is the case with all the other Devis and Devtas. Okay, and he's giving us the heat and light actually. Okay. So similarly, we also have a role to play. And what is that role? That we have to please them. Okay. And how to do that? That is the question. You will see. Answer is in the purport. Okay. Read. Their pleasures and displeasures are dependent on the performance of yajna by the human beings. Okay, some of the yajnas are meant to satisfy a particular demigod, but even in so doing, Lord Vishnu is worshipped in all yajnas as the chief beneficiary. Okay, so by doing a particular yajna, we can please only one particular demigod. Okay, but just look at our misfortune or our fallen condition in this age. Okay, we give an excuse that oh, we do not have time for any spiritual activity or any spiritual practices. Okay, and then what do? We dump all the pictures and idols of all the possible devis and devtas which we can think of in the same altar, and at the end what we can do, max we show some agarbatti or an incense. Okay, maybe some flowers here and there. Yes, that is all, and we think that okay, sabko ek sath satisfy kar. No, it's not that. Clearly it is written, in the Vedas, in the Shastras, that there is one specified yajna for each Devi or Devta. Okay, there is no common effort anywhere involved. Not just that कि एक को अगरबत्ती दिखा दिया, सारों को अगरबत्ती plus एक साथ दिखा दिया, then everyone is satisfied. No, it doesn't happen that way. Okay, so we see that in Kali Yuga, even the demigod worship is not done properly. Okay, and here it is clearly written, okay, that any specific yajna, that a specific yajna is for a specific demigod, specific devi or devta. Okay, there is no combination, combined puja or combined effort anywhere. Okay, you have to understand this very thoroughly. Okay, another important thing that in the purport, Lord Vishnu, it is said that Lord Vishnu is worshipped as in all the yajnas as the ultimate beneficiary. And we have seen this in the previous session also. Like I said, that Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita himself, he's saying, Bhoktaram Yagatapasam Sarvalok Maheshwaram, that I am the benefactor of all the penances and sacrifices. Okay, he's the Bhoktaram. And another way, like, we can see that, okay, even if we are worshipping any Devi or Devta, right, we put this syllable Om, okay, before the mantra of that particular Devi or Devta. Okay, that just we prefix that, right? Say for example, if we are worshipping Lord Ganesha, Om Ganeshaya Nama, Om Rudraya Nama, like that. So what is this Om basically? We will see that in the seventh chapter, Krishna himself has said, Pranava Sarva Vedeshu, okay, that I am the syllable Om, okay, in all the Vedas. So you see that even he's saying Bhuktaram Yagatapsam, he is the benefactor, ultimate benefactor of all the sacrifices and penance. He is the Pranava, he is the Om, Omkar, in which has been mentioned in all the Vedic scriptures. Okay. So if the Krishna, so another question now may arise that, and this question will be asked by very intelligent people only, mind you. Okay. That if Vishnu or Krishna is the ultimate benefactor, then why should we perform yajnas for different devis and devtas? Okay, and the answer is yes. Okay, there is no need for it, or it is not compulsory to satisfy each and every devi and devta by performing specific yajnas for each of them. Okay, there is a very nice, shloka in Srimad Bhagavatam, fourth canto, 31st chapter, 14th verse. I'll just try to bring it up so that I can read it out. Okay, so it goes something like this: यथा तरोर मलनिषेचे मलनिषेचनेन तृप्यन्ति तत्स्कंध bhujopashakha, right? Which means that if we have to just imagine, like, I'll just try to give an analogy. Basically, what it is saying here is that if we want to water the root, if we want to water a tree, okay, so what do we need to do? I mean, I'll simply go and pour the water in the root of the tree, right? I will not go around sprinkling and spraying water on all its branches, tree, twigs, and leaves and fruits, right? That is not a very intelligent thing to do. And the tree will also be not nourished properly, if you do that and forget the root. But if you just water the root of the plant or the tree, automatically the entire tree will be nourished. Okay. So similarly, by pleasing Lord Krishna, who is the root, who is the ultimate cause of all causes, okay, all the Devis and Devtas will be automatically satisfied. They will be very pleased. Okay. Another analogy which we can do, which we can discuss here, okay, is that when it comes to our hunger, okay, nourishing the body, okay, when we are hungry, or when we want to nourish our body, what do we do? Do we think that, okay, my hands, they have worked a lot, so let me feed my hand and try to push in some food here in our hands? Does it work that way? No, it doesn't work that way, right? So what do? We simply feed the stomach. We don't need to feed each and every limb of yours. Okay, like we just need to feed our stomach, put the food in the stomach. If the stomach is satisfied, the entire body is nourished. Okay, so we have seen similarly that all the Devis and Devtas, as we have mentioned earlier, that they are the different parts of the body of Lord Krishna, right, or Vishnu, right? So if we simply satisfy Lord Vishnu, all the other his body parts will be satisfied. All the Devi Devtas will be automatically satisfied. Okay. So there is no compulsion as such, okay, basically to perform specific yajnas for each and every specific Devi and Devtas. But then, we are different people are at different levels of consciousness. Okay. Some people find it really difficult to, comprehend this whole thing. That how can I just stop worshipping certain Devis and Devtas, which I have been doing so for maybe 10 years, 20 years. So, it takes time. So it's okay. Like, we can go on, but then slowly try to practice Krishna consciousness also. Okay. And slowly we will get to that platform where you will understand all these things. And another important thing is that in this age of Kali Yuga, as I said earlier, that, each and every Devi and Devta has a very specific yagya or sacrifice designated for them. Okay. We cannot, collectively, put the idols and pictures of all of them and then just show some incense or perform any sacrifice whimsically and then think that, okay, ab ho gaya, saro ke liye ho gaya. It's not like that. Okay, we don't have, and the problem is that we don't have the time. That for each and every, they are innumerable in number, as we have seen in the purport. So what are we going to do? Shall we perform innumerable sacrifices, okay, or yajnas for them? Okay, there's so many of them, and we are indebted to all of them. Okay, so an intelligent person will always look to water the root of the tree. Okay, he or she will not go around, sprinkling water on the branches, twigs, and roots and fruits. Uh, Branches, twigs, and fruits. Okay, and leaves. Right. Simply water the root of the plant, and the whole plant will be nourished. You just worship Lord Krishna or Vishnu, satisfy him, okay, make him happy. All the Devis and Devtas will be pleased, and they will give you all the possible benedictions. They will fulfill all your desires. They will already, all your desires will automatically be fulfilled. So we'll again continue to read from the purport. Therefore, ultimate satisfaction of Yajnapati is the chief purpose of all yajnas. Okay, when these yajnas are perfectly performed, naturally the demigods in charge of different departments of the supply are pleased, and there is no scarcity of supply of the natural products. Okay. Similarly, yajnas has many side benefits, ultimately leading one to liberation from the bondage. Okay. So we see that how by performing karma kanda, according to the Vedic injunctions, one progresses slowly up the yoga ladder, okay, on the path of spirituality, and moves up the yoga ladder and ultimately break this cycle of life and death. Okay. Performance of yajnas has many side benefits, ultimately leading to liberation from material bondage. By performance of yajnas, all activities become purified, as it is stated in the Vedas. Okay. So there is a process, okay, by how that everything is getting purified, through yajnas or through the sacrifices. Okay, so it's given here, very nice, step by step process is given. Okay, first, when we perform any yajna, okay, once eatables become sanctified or purified. Okay, and by eating sanctified foodstuffs, one's very existence becomes purified. Second, okay. Then third, by the purification of one's existence, finer tissues in the memory become sanctified. And when the memory is sanctified, one can think of path of liberation, and these combined together lead to Krishna consciousness. Okay, so such a nice step process is given. Okay, that once food is first purified, when we consume that purified food, our existence is purified. Okay, once our existence is purified, what happens? Our memory, okay, the finer tissues in our memory, that becomes purified. And when that becomes purified, people start asking right questions, that what is the path of liberation? Okay, what do I have to do? They start thinking about spirituality, spiritual aspects. As long as we remain in this contaminated condition, okay, there is no hope. Okay, we simply don't think about spirituality in any way. Just money, 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 whatever. We're just running crazily after money. Okay, we are becoming greedy day by day, right? So it's very important to perform these sacrifices. And isn't it very beautiful that you just perform certain sacrifices to fulfill your material desires? Krishna will fulfill those desires, and at the same time, you will be progressing up the yoga ladder, to the level of Nishkam Karma Yoga, and then beyond that. So this is the whole, discussion about this verse. I hope you liked the session today. Okay, and we will continue with verse number 12 in our next class, next session, next week. I know there can be a lot of questions because these two verses are very, very important verses. They have given us a lot of insight, lot of practical implementations are there, which we can do in our day-to-day life. And if you have any questions, please reach out to Scon Whitefield or Scon Kannamangla, and we can add you to our WhatsApp group. I have a WhatsApp group where I can personally interact with you and try to answer your questions. Okay, and if your questions are very genuine, and if it is something like most of the people are having the similar doubts in their mind, then I can also create a video on that question. Okay, so that's all for this particular session today. Thank you so much for joining in. Looking forward to see you all again next week. Till then, Hare Krishna.